Your camera on. Oh. Unmute yourself, ask questions or go in the chat. Wonderful.
Okay, I think I unmuted myself.
You did.
Yay!
Success. Fantastic. All right, so let's start some questions. So as you guys know, we were just on, we talked all about starting to create a list of what do we want? What do you want? And if time and money weren't a thing, what do you want? When you are asked that question, how does it make you feel? Question.
It makes me feel nervous.
How does it make you feel nervous?
It's such a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little, it's just a little scary. It's a big question.
Have you ever asked yourself that question before?
On occasion. I feel like a lot of times we kind of care about what other people are needing before we address what we're needing, if that makes sense.
Yep. Are you referring to like family, job?
Yes, all of the above.
Is that the big everybody else?
Yep.
Yep. Anybody else have that? Yes.
Not so much pleasing anyone else. It's like to act in so much that I can think about that for myself, that what I want. So it's close adjacent feeling what, I'm sorry, I missed her name, who just expressed.
Jen,
what Jen was saying. It's just like, I never got to think about that myself on that level. And yeah, that nervousness, that, oh my God, this is just silly. Like something kicks in, right?
yep. Well, after going through, so today we learned about paradigms, what they are and how they're formed. Did that resonate? Does anybody have any questions about does it make sense to you how it was formed? Why we have all those stories in our minds? And I don't know, Wendy, while you were teaching, I was kind of holding up the stick person. I wasn't sure if you saw it. But ultimately, this is us. This stick person right here, it's all of us. That's why I said, as long as you're a human being, everybody on this call is human, yes, I automatically know that this is how you are set up. You have a conscious mind that's hooked up to your 5 senses, that's taken all the information in. You have a subconscious mind that's filled with anything that was either repeated to you over and over and over again, or you attached an emotion to and it went in. And that's where your paradigm lives. This is your self-image. This is where all those stories like the money doesn't grow on trees and money is the root of all evil. And yes, Crystal, you get this. So Crystal, you're a hypnotherapist, so you know this. So what do you think is holding you back from practicing it? Yes. So this is what we call the knowing doing gap. So we know the whole point of us having this human experience, right? That's what we do. We're a spirit living in this meat stick. That's what I always call it. And we're having this human experience. And it's our body, the meat stick, that shows us our results, right? We can see on the outside, I can tell you exactly what your thoughts are on health, and it's not a judgment, by looking at the body. I can tell you your thoughts on money by looking at your bank account. I can tell you your thoughts on relationships by talking to your partner or your kids or anybody in your family. Anybody that you're close to. I shouldn't say family. Family, your chosen people. Right? Our results, they never lie. They tell a very clear story. But the beautiful part about that, and we might be going, oh crap, like, ah. But the beautiful part about it is that it's very clear. I love a good black and white, like it's either this or this. If it's this and I want that, then that's okay. At least I know what I want. Right? So as you guys get to dive into, what do you want? If time and money they aren't a thing. What do you want? And the only reason it's scary is because you're just not in the habit of doing that. Our whole lives are built on habits. You're just not in the habit of going, what do I want? You're always going, what do I need? What was your quote on need versus want, Wendy?
A need comes from lack and a want comes from abundance. So if you're always saying, I need this, I need this, I need this, it means that you're missing something, that something's not complete. It's lack, it's resistance. And so it's just having that awareness and catching yourself and go, do I really need that? Or what do I really, really want? The two questions I ask myself all the time is, what do I want? And what would I love? And I just ask that over and over again until it becomes clearer and clearer to me. So it's just having the awareness that need's not going to get you to this beautiful life that you desire. It's going to give you more of the lack.
Yeah.
So you want to shift that, just have that awareness. And even if you just get that from me today, just catching yourself once today is the start of it.
And you can notice it in little things that you might do. So say you're going to go out for lunch with a friend, right? And the menu comes. Do you read the left side of the menu and then make your decision based on the right side? Like you read all the descriptions and then you go, ooh, how much does it cost? I'm not kidding you guys. I used to go, okay, well, I really want the chicken, but this pasta dish is $3 less. So I like pasta. So I guess I'll get that. $3. That's how I would make my decisions. Even though I wanted the chicken. So we tend to think going with what we want, what we really, really want, is going to cost us too much money. Or it's going to cost us too much time. Or I really want an awesome family life. And if I pour into my family, then I can't have the labor of love. You're going to notice I'm going to call your work, your job. I'm not calling it work or job. I'm calling it your labor of love because I want nobody in this circle. If you don't have a labor of love yet, we're going to get you one because it's the best. So feels so much different than a job. Yes, just saying, agreed in the chat. Beautiful. Lindy, you created your labor of love. Oh, you're muted. Are you muted? There you go. Oh, no, I can't hear you still. Do you have earphones plugged in somewhere or a headset? We'll come back. We'll come back to it. I'll tell Lindy's story. She's speechless right now. She's so excited about it. So Lindy worked for the same company for years and years and years, and had a passion and wanted to create her own store. And when all the circumstances, this was during the pandemic, all the circumstances were circling to no, she did it. Now you've got 2 stores, right? You can put it in the chat too, if your volume's not working. I love it. What are the biggest, I love Dave's question here. What are your biggest questions you have and desire that's not answered? I want to make sure I answer your questions, you guys.
We know a lot of us, we hear feeling is the secret. How do we build that desire to feel it? Like whatever it is.
How do you build the desire for what you want?
Is to get beyond, to get beyond. So I list what I want. I put it down on the list.
Yep.
And desire just means like huge passion for it. That how do I build that for it other than just on the list of want?
Any of the coaches, feel free to you guys can unmute yourselves or put your stuff in the chat as well.
Connie, do you mind sharing more about what that desire is? Like, are you comfortable with
it? You could, okay, let's play with the idea of retiring from my traditional job, replacing that income, doing something what I love.
Mm-hmm. What are you wanting to replace it with? Let's keep going. Like, what is it that you love? Paint your perfect story picture. What it is that you want to leave your traditional, line of work for to replace with what you love.
Immediately there's the block. Well, how can you make money with that? Right? That practical
Don't
sense
worry about
comes in.
that right now, because that's where you're automatically stopping yourself.
Yeah.
What is it? Because we'll dive into this, especially if it's like a business related question on how to go after that.
I know it's so untraditional. Like I love entertaining and cooking and teaching and learning, and those are some things that I love.
So are you still
And
trying to find exactly what it is that you would love to do and create to be able to create the income and the
yes,
life that you desire? Okay.
yes,
So where I would start with that is really starting to create, and it's like a 3 circles exercise, right? Like draw 3 circles, and then like where like in the middle, so you kind of draw them like a triangle. Where in the middle, like that's your center kind of bullseye. New page.
okay,
And then label one with knowledge. label one with skills and abilities,
Okay,
and label another with passions.
okay,
And then create a list under every single one of those. So create a list of every single thing that you have knowledge about. Create a list of every single thing that you have skills in. Then create a list of every single thing that you have passions in.
okay,
And now you start to narrow it down. If you've got skills in something, but you have zero passion for it, it's off the list.
okay,
If you have passions for something, but you don't quite have necessarily the knowledge or the skills there, but you have the passion to go out and learn it, that's where it's going to become a business opportunity for you. Okay. And then underneath all of that, if you want to start to really find the sweet spot for business, is figuring out where there's a market gap or where there's a need or solution that society or your consumers need, right? Is there a problem or pain points that they're facing that you say, I can fulfill this, right? The reason why the key for passion is so important is because in any business, there's always going to be hiccups. There's always going to be speed bumps, right? But those little hiccups or speed bumps for somebody who's not passionate about it, they just want to get into business because they think running a business is a sexy idea and it's going to be fun. And then they start it on day one and they go, holy shit, there's actually work that has to go into this. Then they feel like they're running up against a wall and they quit and they stop and they go back to their shitty 9-to-5 that they didn't love because that was easier. But when you're passionate about it, anything you come up to, any obstacle, it's just a little bump in the road.
Yep.
And you go over it.
Yep.
And 90% of our problems are self-created anyways. But that's kind of where you got to start, right? Is figuring out what those things are and going, okay, how do I want to serve this? Is it in a brick and mortar business? Is it in an online setting? Is it one-to-one? Is it group? Is it a course that I'm going to create and sell in the digital world, right? Like, and you start to kind of hone in on it. But the biggest thing is just starting, right? If you're stuck in waiting to get started and waiting to have all the information and waiting for the perfect time, you're never going to start.
okay.
If I
Okay.
can suggest something here, if you're not really sure of what you want to actually do, like I actually did a master class back in September and it was about returning to joy. And I think this is something that we're forgetting about, is actually bring joy into our life. And there's this exercise that you can do is to actually think about a place right back into your childhood where you felt the most joy, like it was like carefree and all that. And then that can give you clues onto like doing more things that brings you joy. And when you are tuned in into that vibration, you will be receive some download if you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, then you can tap into more into something that would be worthwhile pursuing.
Can I just add to that as well? Good point, just Saint. Another thing that always comes to my mind for purpose is thinking about a life experience or something in your childhood. Like working with kids that, maybe abused kids, or I don't want to sound negative, but sometimes I just feel like that can be people's purposes as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that makes sense.
Well, anything that's happened in your life has happened for you.
Exactly.
Everybody write that down. Everything that's happened in my life has happened for me, not to me. Okay, so even if it was something that was painful, don't waste that pain. So often we spend our time like, we'll just go, oh, that happened. We put it in this little box over here and we just kind of like shove it under the bed. Shove it in the back of the closet. Just pretend it doesn't exist. But really, that pain, you may not be able to see it. It might be really clothed in something else, but it is a gift. All of it. All
I'll just
of
add
it.
in there. Yeah, I'll just add in there too that can you guys hear me? Yeah. Our thoughts become things. So what are your thoughts? Are they wishes and hopes, or they are true desire? Because there's a huge difference between a true desire and simply, just wishing for something. So it's it's so important to understand that piece because we want to become a vibrational match for it. So it's almost like we got to be thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
So like today I had said, you know, we give our life anyway. So what are we giving our life to? That's how I look at a desire. I'm going to give my life to it anyway. I might as well love what I'm doing. I might as well be passionate about what I'm doing. I might as well, you know, there has to be more to it, Connie, than just, you know, I'd like to do that. It's like, oh, it's got to get you up in the morning, man. Which Connie is good at getting up in the morning. Let me tell you, Connie's good at it. But it's like really focus, like, I want this more than anything else in the world. This is what I desire. And just let your mind just go. You
Mhm.
actually, I know Connie well, and she actually does know her desire. And I know her desire, so I know she knows her desire. And it's just putting more, it could be just putting more heat underneath it, you know. I just start reading persistence over and over again until I like feel it in my bones, you know.
I'd like to add to that as well. You know, we often think that what we have to offer isn't enough, right? But I would like to, you know, I go to the three elements of the law of compensation. Is there a need for what I can do? I would say absolutely there's a need. There's a need for everything. Am I capable of doing it? Am I able to do it? Yeah. You're more than capable of doing it. And how easily is it to replace me? Well, if you work really hard at what you do and you have passion with what you do, you're irreplaceable. You're irreplaceable. Master what you do, absolutely. Be the master of it.
I love that, Michelle, because we all carry, everybody's got that unique essence that is unique to you. And this is what you give to the world, and everybody will, you may not be for everybody, but whatever the essence that you bring out is going to resonate with somebody.
This is where, though, the first thing is just really coming up with that laundry list of what do you want? What do you want? And then you can start piecing it all together. And honestly, once you identify and decide what it is you want, everything else just kind of like comes together. For me, like I couldn't have predicted 10 years ago when I had this crazy idea that I was going to leave the career that I was ladder climbing at for 15 years. I couldn't have predicted that this is how 10 years from now, this is the way your life's going to look. I would have been like, oh, really? Okay, well, didn't see that coming.
I just want to say something too, that like when you truly have a passion for something, no matter how many, you know, bumps in the road that you're going to hit or go over or whatever, maybe even stop and drop you down a hole, you got to just remember you have that deep passion for something and that you just want to hold that vision and keep moving forward. Doesn't matter when it's going to happen, just keep moving towards it because it will happen.
Yep.
Right.
It's inevitable. Thanks for putting your story in the chat, Lindy. Love it. All you have to do is decide what it is that you want. And for now, that it's allowed to be cloudy. Over the next 4 days, we're going to help bring some clarity to it. But it's like, for now, just give yourself permission to think big. Think big. And like it's been said, be open to be receiving the downloads when you get there, because you're being communicated with constantly. And we talk a lot about our 6 higher faculties. Okay. Your intuition is one of your 6 higher faculties. And you don't, in this picture here, you don't see a 6th faculty, you see 5 senses. And we are very much as humans in the habit of going, okay, well, I can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch this. Right. But these 5 senses, they're here to keep us safe in the moment. You can see the car coming so you don't cross the road. You can smell the smoke. You can right? Like eat the food, taste if it's gone bad. Like you can, that's what they're there for. At no point can you use these five senses to move you forward. It's not what they're there for. Really, think about it. Like that's not what they're there for. This is where your 6 higher faculties come in, and your intuition is one of them. And it is, your intuition is the direct link between you and the whatever you believe created the entire universe. Doesn't matter what you call it. God, source, energy, doesn't matter. Okay? Whatever you believe that is, your intuition is the direct source. And it's been said when you pray or meditate that you're talking to the source. And when you follow your intuition, you're giving direct messages back. So listen to your intuition. You got to listen to that intuition though. So even intuitively, as it might seem scary to make this list, but just ask, believe, receive. Keep saying I'm going to get that tattooed somewhere. Because it's true. I'm such a chicken. Ask, believe, receive. Ask for what you want. And then that's step one. Over the next days, we're going to work on belief. And then when you receive it with gratitude. You don't pull a Kevin McAllister and say, leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here. You receive it with gratitude and expectancy. Like, of course that came. It's what I asked for. It's exactly what I asked for. It's like ordering a pizza. You don't call the pizza place up and say, hey, can I have food? You say, I'd like a large Hawaiian pizza, please and thank you. And then when you hang up the phone, you don't drive to the pizza place and micromanage them making your large Hawaiian pizza. You sit back, you have fun, and you enjoy life. You expect that it's going to come. And then when it comes, you give the exchange of money and you say thank you. You have gratitude. Thanks for making supper. And then you enjoy eating it. Putting your order out to the universe is the exact same process. You're just working on step one right now. Step one, what kind of pizza do you want? But get specific, because you're going to get whatever you order. And so many times we look at our outside and we go, there's no way I ordered this, but you did. This is why we talked today about responsibility. Just own it and move on. Own it, learn from it, and move on. That's it. That's all you can do. Unless you have some magical time machine where you can go back and change time. All you can do is grow and move on. Oh, awesome. I was wondering what that book was called, Connie. Intuition for Beginners. Your intuition, it's there for a reason, you guys. Use it. So Lindy, and you can type this in the chat. Now that you have your 2 stores up and running, what do you want next? Do you know what's your goal that you're going after right now? You can type it in the chat. I just want you to think about that. And Connie, you have some clarity around what you want. My question is it, we talk about A, B, and C type goals. We'll go more into that tomorrow. But is it like, do you know how you're gonna get it? No? Beautiful. Guys, you're not supposed to know how you're gonna get it. That's how you know that it's worth going for. Earl Nightingale had the best description of success when he said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Progressive, not you're going to get everything all at once. Progressive, over the course of time, you will be given this realization, not you're going to get everything all at once. You're going to realize it. You're going to, as your awareness grows around it, you will be given it. Of a worthy ideal. Is your goal worthy of you? If it's not, you're going to lose steam because you're not going to be inspired by it. Why would you be? Why would you be? I'm getting some DMs with some questions. Question is, I'm not feeling connected with what I'm writing. I just don't want to do this to do this. What do you recommend? Wendy, what do you say to that?
I don't even see the question. Where are you seeing the?
Oh, I
question?
got DM'd it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So what was the first part of the can you say it one more
It
time?
says, I'm not feeling connected with what
Okay,
I'm
stop
starting
right
to
there.
Okay.
If you're not feeling connected, then you don't have enough desire. There's nothing there. You have to be connected to it, because if you're not connected, it's not going to get you up. It's not going to get you working on it. You're not going to move your body toward it. So I would be asking myself, why am I not connected to this? What's missing? Like, what is it that I'm not connecting to? Because what's happened is you're not emotionally attached to it. And we have to get emotional about our things, right? Because if you're not emotionally attached from it, you will stop. You will quit. You will not persist.
Yeah.
So getting some feelings behind it is going to get key, is going to be key. So, I think about people that are not connected to something. There's no passion, there's no desire there. Get connected to something else then. Like, it's not big enough, it's not worthy enough, it's not a worthy ideal, just what we talked about, right? It's not. If you're not feeling the connection to it, you want to make it, you got to make it bigger. It's just not enough, right? Because this has got to get you going. Like, this is your life. This is your life. You're gonna live your life either way. So why not get connected to something that is your calling, not your job, your calling? What is it in this world that you want to do and be? And it's in the beingness that you get to do it.
Yeah.
So it's just putting more fire. What was the next part of it? She's not connected, and
she says, I don't want to just do this to do this.
yeah, if you do this to do this, it will fizzle. It
Yeah.
will fizzle. We don't want you to do this to do this. We want you to become it. We want to see this is transformation. This isn't like surface level stuff, you guys. Because if it's surface level, it's not going to get you to the life that we know that you want, right? The goal is to grow. So you have to grow your awareness, or you can't get out of debt.
Yeah.
The goal is to grow. So you have to grow your awareness so you can get the right relationship. The goal is to grow. So you have to grow your awareness to become her.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not a once and done. It's not a once and done. You get to do this. You get to do this.
Yep.
Yeah. So we don't want you to do. If it's a checklist, it won't work. So stop it. And that's what I would say to that.
Yeah. And this is where like you can borrow beliefs from your past or from other people that you know, where you know what it feels like to be connected to something. You know what it feels like. So maybe you're talking now about a relationship and you're actually really connected with your work. You have a labor of love. Okay, well, borrow the belief from there that you can create what you want in your relationship or with your health. Like when we say it's the exact same process in all areas of your life, I mean, it's the same process. But the feeling is key. That is the only way. There's only two ways to shift a paradigm. Okay. Constant repetition over and over and over. But first you got to know what you want. And emotional impact. Getting emotionally involved. And if you can get emotionally involved on a repetitive basis, oh man, come to mama. That's like gold mine right there. Good question. Connie's asking, can the goal just be an emotional goal or growth for now? What do you mean by that one, Connie? Oh, you just went off camera. Can the goal just be an emotional goal or growth? Spiritual growth. So nothing happens until you take action. Like nothing happens. So yes, at the beginning stages, when you identify what you desire, getting emotional with it and like becoming obsessed with it, like obsessed is the key. And then grow your awareness. So say you want $1 million. Okay. Well, the only reason you don't have $1 million right now is because you're not aware of how to get it. To earn $1 million or to earn $10 is the exact same process. Okay. It comes money because the money is an energy, right? It takes no more effort, but this is where you have to, like, when you decide what you want, what's your plan now to go get that? And a lot of people were programmed to like, oh, I'll wait till I retire, then I'll start. Well, for you, Connie, if your idea is to replace the income, you're going to have to start taking action before retiring. Anybody else want to add to that one?
Yeah, I would like to add to that. I think I understand what she's saying here is, can I just work on myself? And can that be my goal? Now, speaking from my own personal experience, working on myself for, I would say, most of my life, really didn't start to transform until I had a big goal to work towards. I mean, it's not that I didn't stay stagnant. I had lots of moments along the way where I realized stuff about myself, but it wasn't until I actually had that goal that I saw those shifts within myself. Does that make sense? So you do need that big goal to move towards, to help your spiritual growth, to help your own personal growth, because without the big goal, you're not really growing.
If I can add to that as well, just from what you've been asking there, Connie, about the emotional goal. So of what I'm seeing here is that currently you're not really happy with what you're doing. And really, like, you have to return into going back and doing things that you actually enjoy doing, like along with the business that you are doing. And going from there, when you actually like pick up a hobby, and that's why like this little exercise doing like to return to joy and do something. What did you actually like to do when you were a kid? Did you love painting? Did you love to go for a walk in the forest and all that? And just tap into that feeling, because when we were kids, we just did what we like to do and we just did it because it brought us joy. So really, when you start tapping into that, then you will be able to find that self of, return to joy, and then more things will come to you. Because until you get into that state, nothing will come up, right? So you have to slow down, do things that you enjoy doing, and then things will start to download for you. And then you're going to be able to be like, you know what, something really struck to me. There's a big goal I've seen here. I got this download, and then you can go towards it.
I think another piece of this, and I don't know if Connie's on or not, I can't really tell, but
She'll get the replay.
that's why I want to say it. So sometimes people choose to make a goal around, and it really depends things that have happened in our life. But like, let's say it's like self-love, things around ourself. All of those things are our goals, and they are things that are going to evolve in our self-image as we nurture them. And so I think that's where her question's coming from, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's the question, is can it be an emotional goal for yourself? Can it be something around, if you've never had that before, self-love or working on our self-worth and different things like that. What's your opinion on that one, Dylan?
I think that I completely agree with what you're saying. And I honestly think it all comes down to our self-image when we want to get connected, because we're only going to take action on the things that our self-image allows us to take action on.
You got it.
Yeah, because I can say, oh, I know I want to do this, and I believe it was Jen? No, it wasn't Jen. Who was on before? It's gonna get the replay. Crystal was saying that you know, as a hypnotherapist, right? Like, you know the things, but it's like you're only ever going to take action on the things that your self-image allows you to take action on. Like, if I can know all that, like, I totally resonate with that, because I was reading every book. I was going to all the speakers. I was going to free workshops. I was going to everything. And I wasn't getting any of the results that I actually wanted. And it came back to my paradigm, my Linda wasn't going to let me do it. And it's not, your paradigm's not it's not good or bad, right or wrong. It's not, don't hate on it. It's got you to where you are right now, which is pretty sweet. It's about linking arms with your paradigm and saying, okay, I'm just like a dog, I'm going to retrain you. I'm going to teach you some new things. If your dog doesn't know how to roll over, you just train it to roll over. Our paradigm, it can be that easy too. It just doesn't know. Right now, your paradigm doesn't know how to earn $1 million. So you just got to train it. And once you do that, like, I know, I took my daughter the other day to go get groceries, and it was like, we hadn't got groceries in a while. So it was like one of those big grocery bills. And she was like, oh my gosh, Mom, I can't believe you can buy that. And I'm thinking, oh, I guess for a 10-year-old, right? Like, $10 is a lot of money, let alone what our grocery bill ended up coming out to. Right. And she was just so flabbergasted. Right. And I just said, and, you know, I remember thinking, oh man, how can I earn $10? How can I earn $10? Until I stopped asking myself how to earn $10. And I was like, how can I earn $100? How can I earn $1,000? How can I earn $100,000? How can I earn $1 million? And you just start, it's the same question. And the only reason you don't have it is because you're just not aware of the answer yet. So what do? You grow your awareness. You become aware of the answer. And once you learn the answer, now I look at her, I'm like, oh, $10, easy to make $10. For her, she's like, how? Tell me your secret. Tell me your secret. How do I earn $10? There's lots of things that you have right now that you had no idea how they were going to come to you. You once wanted the life that you're living. You longed for it. Now you have it. Love it. I got DM'd another question. How do I know if I'm sabotaging my list? How do I know if it's what I really want?
Wouldn't you think, when you're looking at your list, how does it make you feel? Like each one of those items, how does it make you feel? It's like, oh yeah, I could take it or leave it. Or it's like, oh my God, I feel it inside and it's like, I just want it, right? I think it all comes down to feeling it.
It is.
I remember the first time I started making my list, I had a lot of, what do I need? What do I need on my list? And I remember going, well, it's not really what I need. What do I want? I mean, there's a huge difference, right? I need a car. Yeah, but what kind of car do I want? What do I want? What lights me up? What brings me joy? What inspires me? What gets me all excited? What gets me nervous and scared?
Yep.
What makes me ask, how the heck am I going to get that? Because if you don't know how, if you don't know the how, that's the one you want to go for.
It should excite you and want to make you throw up all at the same time.
It's kind of the same feeling, isn't it?
It is.
Our body is going to react to that desire. Our body is going to react. It's how are you interpreting that sensation that you're feeling? We've always interpreted that feeling of excitement as maybe as scared.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to choose to interpret it as excitement. My hands get all sweaty. My
Yep.
ears start to get hot. My heart starts pounding. I
Yep.
get a little flutter in my stomach. Maybe it's like, okay, this is the one. This
Yep.
is the one.
Yep.
Eek.
I would say how we do one thing is how we do everything. Where else have you been sabotaging? And is that working for you? No. So just thinking a different thought around it, catching yourself and going, okay, do I want to think that? No. Go to the other, just like Michelle told us there. That's perfect advice. I love that.
Yeah. And I taught about the law of vibration today. So the law of vibration says everything is moving, nothing rests. Okay. Our bodies, even though we look like we're still right now, we are vibrating. Okay. So when someone's a high vibe person, that tells us that their frequency, the rate in which they are vibrating, is really, really high. Well, I can tell you, because your body is a manifestation of your mind, I don't need to know you to go, I know what you're thinking about. Your body isn't just vibrating high at a high frequency. You're not just always happy and always positive and always excited and always, I know what you're thinking about. I don't know exactly what you're thinking about, but I know what you're thinking about excites you. You're passionate about it. Which then in turn sets up the frequency of your body. And whatever your frequency is, like attracts like. That's the law of attraction. So if your frequency is here, you will attract in all the other people, places, things, tools, resources you need that are also here. If you think you're always getting the shit end of the stick, what are you thinking about? Do you think, oh, of course that happens to me, or only to me? It's cold and flu season, just my luck. If you keep thinking that way, I can tell you exactly what you're going to continue to get. If your frequency is here, you will attract in, and that's why it always seems to happen to you. You know that day where you like, say you wake up and you like stub your toe getting out of bed and you're like, oh, my toe. And you kind of like, you know, hobble your way to the bathroom. Then you go to brush your teeth and you get toothpaste all down your shirt. You're like, oh, first my toe, now my shirt. Then you get dressed and you grab your cup of coffee because that's what you need for energy. And you hop in the car and you're driving to work. You have to slam on the brakes. You spill your coffee all over yourself. Oh, first my toe, then my shirt, now hot coffee on my lap. Now I've hit every red light. I get to work. Hell's already breaking loose. It's not even 8 a.m. Why do you think that happened? It's not, most would call it a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Had you switched your attitude after you stubbed your toe, the rest of the events would have looked very, very different. Wendy, you look like you need to say something. Kirsten.
Yeah, it's just, I see this on social media all the time. I see people literally getting onto social media and telling us about every ailment or something that's happening to them that's negative. And I just want to go, stop. Like, this is what you're transmuting out. You just attracted it into your life. Like, is that what you want? No. So it's just awareness, you know, like if we actually believe that, if we actually know that, then we're not going to do stuff like that. Right. So it's coming into the know of, and just being aware that that's what we're putting out there. And our thoughts do become things, because as soon as you emotionalize it and you get in front of millions of people and you say that, it happens every single time. It's a law. We don't make this stuff up.
Nope.
It's law. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. You have just called that up.
Yep.
And we know as coaches that you don't want it. So we're here to show you how to catch yourself literally and create what is exactly what you want to the letter. Like, honestly, exactly what you want. This can be yours.
That's right.
Well, you've declared it, right? When you
Right,
you
you've
put
claimed
something out
it. You've
there,
claimed it.
you've
Yes.
claimed it. You've absolutely owned it. Now, there you go. That's what you're going to get. You're going to keep getting that, because we spoke about this morning already, where focus goes, energy flows. So if you're continually focusing on what's going wrong in your life, you're going to keep getting more and more of that. And that's a hard pill to swallow for some people, because you mean I'm manifesting this crap? Well, yes, you are. You are.
Yeah. Every day, all day.
And again, we talked about the law of polarity. So if you can think about all the negative things that are going on in your life, why don't you start focusing on some of the positive things that are going on in your life and start attracting more of that?
Right. Nothing will raise your frequency more or faster than gratitude. Thank you for bringing that up, Michelle. Nothing. You want to get somewhere fast? Gratitude.
And to forgive ourselves, right? Like forgiving those thoughts. Like if you stub your toe and then halfway through, you just become aware that you just had that crappy attitude towards your day, then forgive yourself and then start fresh and then just choose a new thought. And then if you don't like that thought, just choose again until you start to feel better, and things will just turn around just like that.
It's amazing. As my kids would say, starting now. You get to
Snap out of
decide constantly. Starting now. Even if it's lunchtime, even if it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Not tomorrow's a different day. No. Right now is a different minute. Starting now. Go for it.
Something I just have to share here. My daughter, she's going to a holistic education school and all that, and they're learning about how to control their emotion. And then one of them is like, you just take a real nice deep breath and you just snap out of it.
I love that. Snap. And it can be that quick. It gets to be that quick. but allow it to be that quick. Love it. This has been an awesome session. Thanks for those that were on live. Thank you for those that are watching the replay. And we will see your beautiful faces tomorrow on day 2. Have your questions ready as they're coming up during the session. Just know when we meet here after the session, it's your chance. Ask all the questions. Awesome. Happy Monday, you guys.
Happy Monday. See you tomorrow.